Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Caleb. It is Wednesday, August 12th, and I wanted to do another update on my garden. So let's go check it out. Things are really coming in really well this year, so I'm pretty excited about it. But let me go show you. So we'll start off on the patio. I kind of reorganized things here, made some lanes I can walk through. Tomatoes have been producing pretty good. They're not the prettiest looking plants, but they've gotten pretty good size. And I'm just kind of picking stuff as I go along. I have a couple different squash plants on here as well. We got a yellow squash, so those are coming in nice. I think on the other side there's like a, I think this variety's like called Cocuzel or something. Just kind of like a green zucchini. I've picked a couple off that plant already, it's doing alright. But yeah, tomatoes are coming in real good. Oh wow, there's actually a some sort of mantis on my camera right now. Let me get him off of there. Oh, there he is. Scared the crap out of me. Anyway, so yeah, lots of tomatoes. This plant is a Trinidad scorpion pepper plant that I actually kept from last year. I haven't gotten any fruit off of this one yet, so I'm not really sure what's going on with him, but it was, I thought, completely dead, but it really did come back, so I'm hoping maybe by the end of the season we'll get a couple of those peppers. You really only need a few because they're super hot. But yeah, these tomatoes have been producing really well here. I'm really excited for these ones because I got a couple big guys. I'm really not sure the varieties. I just kind of randomly sprouted what tomato seeds I had and then bought some from the store. Then I got some jalapenos here. So this plant I actually got at Costco, but it's been producing quite nicely. So I've definitely got my money's worth out of that. I've got a bunch of jalapenos off of that plant. I think a lot of the tomatoes I planted were more like a cherry type tomato, a couple different varieties of that, so they're doing alright. And this little guy here is a pumpkin plant, which had a pumpkin that was fruiting right around here, but it fell off, which is, I don't know, probably wasn't a great spot for it. But it's just kind of grown into this other plant and wrapped itself around, so I'm just going to let it do its thing. Couple corn plants here, so these ears are almost getting ready to harvest, which is cool. Did have an issue with the garden and the ground with some raccoons stealing some of my corn, but I'll show you what I got to defend myself against them. And then this blue pot here actually has a tomato plant and a pumpkin plant, and as you'll see, pumpkin plant's actually grown through the second neighboring pot and all the way over there. So I'm hoping I get a couple pumpkins off of him. I've never really grown pumpkins out of containers, so I'm not sure how it'll work, but that's the fun part about gardening, it's all just an experiment. And I got some pepper plants here that are starting to produce pretty well. Some of the other ones, not so much. I don't really know what's going on with them. But I've got 2 or 3 pepper plants that are doing nicely. These peppers are pretty spicy. I forget what they are. I think they're the hot Portugal pepper. So those are good. This is kohlrabi that I was just using for greens, but I think I've gotten some invaders. I don't know if you can see there, but it looks like something's laying its eggs on there and something's been eating on it. But that's okay if I have to sacrifice one plant, that's fine. And more tomatoes, another zucchini plant here. Oh, here's that pumpkin plant I was talking about. It's just vined all the way in the edge of the garden, which is kind of cool. Just amazing how they just kind of creep their way around like that. And some more tomatoes, some more peppers. I've got 2 more pumpkins that are kind of stuck back here. these ones, I don't know. Getting a ton of flowers on them, but not really seeing any fruit coming out of them. So we'll see. Maybe actually I take that back. Maybe that guy's a little pumpkin right there. But anyway, yeah, it's all just an experiment. So we'll see what we get. So let's go check out the in-ground garden. Alright, so this area we just dug out earlier in the spring to make a little garden, and it's really come in, especially if you look at some of the past videos I did on this. I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. So, a lot of greens kind of in this section. I've got a Swiss chard here, a couple beet plants. This is a pepper plant, banana pepper I started from seeds, so I'm happy to see it. It's doing its thing there. I do need to do some weeding in here, but pretty much everything downward on is mostly just beans and different types of squash. So I really need to start digging in and looking and seeing if I'm getting some bean production. I know beans and squash plants are supposed to be complementary to each other, so we'll see. Looks like I got another couple zucchinis growing there and there, which is cool. Lots of flowering activity, and the bees have been pretty good to me this year. They've been visiting, so these plants I know are acorn squash, so I'm hoping I get some winter squash out of it this year that I can store longer term. A couple more beet plants, and these are actually some cucumbers, and I've got at least one happy cucumber right there who's coming in. And then these are actually little Japanese turnips that are called, I think they're like shogun turnips, but I'll pull one of them just so you can show it to you. But they they grow to about maybe like a little bigger than a golf ball. They're really actually pretty sweet. I know a lot of people don't really care for turnips, but these are delicious. You can just use them raw in salads. I've been doing stir fries and stuff with them. And turnip greens, you can always eat the greens too. You have to saute them pretty good because they can be kind of prickly. But yeah, I'm going to probably plant some more turnips here just because they do come in relatively fast. And what I'm probably going to do, these are pea plants over here, which I think are they're about done, so I might kind of try and see if I can get a couple last pea pods out of them. Then I'm probably just going to compost those and then plant some more of these turnips, because, you know, turnips are cool. They're fast growing, and, you know, get quite a bit of food off them, actually. Oh, so I did have a bit of an issue with that raccoon, so I put up some fencing under here because I think he was just coming under the deck. Pretty sure it was a raccoon because it was just going after the corn and like literally just tearing ears of corn off. So it probably got, you know, 4 or 5 ears of corn off me. So I'm glad it enjoyed the corn. I went ahead and harvested the rest of it. The ears are small, but they look perfect. You know, they look like good ears of corn. So just put Mr. Turnip down there. Yeah, coming back again to the Swiss chard. I've been really happy. I don't think I've grown chard before, but it comes up so easily, and you can just keep, you know, as the leaves get big, you just pick off the big ones, and it just keeps growing. Like you know, the problem I have with like spinach and lettuce and stuff, like it goes to seed really fast. So this is also a different type. I think this is like hook forward giant chard. But the chard's been great. I like to cook it, saute it with some bacon or something like that. So there's another squash plant there. All this stuff back here is kale, which I harvest similar to the chard. So the kale's done really well. It's actually a cilantro plant, which is starting to flower, so I need to maybe top that and keep it from flowering. sure what kind of greens those were. I'm probably going to pull these just because they went to seed, but I'm going to try to collect the seeds off of these and see if I can use them again next year. I've got a couple cabbages too that are surviving because before I got this fence put in here, I had a deer that just came through and really ravished everything. So I thought the cabbages weren't going to come back, but they did, which is kind of cool. And I've actually got a bigger one here that's starting to ball up and actually look like a cabbage, which I'm excited about because I like making sauerkraut and that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's the cilantro, and then there's a parsley plant here that's doing pretty well. And then our kale. So that's that side of the garden. And I'm doing some potatoes just in plastic buckets. I repurposed actually one of my cat litter buckets, a couple of those. Got some big old onions coming in. I don't know how big the roots, the actual onion bulb is going to be on these, but the greens are sizable, which is cool. These are little mini carrots. They're starting to do alright. I think these only come up as like little tiny guys anyway, so that's about as big as these ones get. So I just wanted to do something compact, but probably should start harvesting on these anyway. I haven't really looked too closely at these. A couple more beet plants. I'm hoping I get a couple beets at least. Come on, Mr. Garrett. And then yeah, pretty much this section's all just again squash, corn, and beans. It's that three sisters garden concept that the Native Americans were fond of using. So you can see here one of my corn casualties from Mr. Raccoon. Looks like he didn't even finish his meal, which kind of sucks. But I'm hoping the fencing and then some of the suggestions I got from Gardening with Skinny Boy Randy's Facebook page, I'll link below to his channel. He's a great gardening channel on YouTube. They gave me some good suggestions. I actually bought some more predator urine. This time it's like in a granulated form. So we'll see how that works. But luckily the raccoons didn't go after the squash and stuff. So there's some yellow squash there. Yellow squash there. There's an ear of corn that Mr. Raccoon missed, which is nice. But yeah, overall I've been really happy with, the corn for me is more of a, it's almost like a decorative thing. I'll probably use these to decorate around Halloween. Although I doubt we're getting many trick-or-treaters in 2020. But yeah, I really need to kind of dig through in here and see, like especially with the beans, they're kind of hidden a little bit, so we'll definitely have to do a little hunting for stuff. Alright, there's another squash. I don't know if you can see there, but some of these squash are like the patty pan kind of little scallopy ones. Those are cool. So, some more potatoes. This tomato got his own spot. He's finally getting a couple tomatoes, but he's been a little slower. That plant was actually one of the ones destroyed by the deer, so it's getting a second chance at life. And then, yeah, again, these are just more squash, more beans, and then these are pumpkins over here. So I'm hoping I'll get some pumpkins. I feel like it's, it's already August, so hopefully they'll start to produce some stuff here into September. Oh, looks like I do have a couple beans there to pick. So cool, getting some wax beans, that's nice. And yeah, so that's the in-ground garden, guys. A couple more potato plants there. Some random stuff. So, not a huge space, but as you can see, you can get quite a bit of stuff growing. This is probably maybe like 20 by 35 feet. And obviously we made a little path here Originally I had old roof shingles that I used to make the pathway. Then we replaced those once we kind of got the ground packed down, and then just put some wood mulch in here. It makes a nice little path. But I've got a couple other things to show you. I've got one pumpkin I'm really excited about over there in my potato patch experiment. So let's go check that out. Alright, so this little patch I did an experiment with wood chip gardening. So I laid down some cardboard underneath this. Then I used horse manure I got from my mom, probably about 6 inches of that, and then maybe another 6 inches of the wood chips, and planted potato plants. What you're doing, they're hanging in there. Some of the original ones are gone. I need to really look and see what time is appropriate to start harvesting these. I've heard you have to wait till the potato plants flower and then kind of keel over and die, and then that's when it's time to look. So I hope I get, you know, a decent amount of potatoes out of this. But this just defended with mostly repellents for deer, and then I've got this fishing line fence. It seems like it's kept them out of there pretty well. I think, you know, it also helped that we put some of these dead branches around it. So, but what I'm really excited about over here is, look at this pumpkin. So this is an Atlantic giant pumpkin plant. Kind of just put it in there as a goof, as a seed, just to see if it would come up. But as you can see, it's really thriving. I do need to put down some more defensive stuff here because I know deer like to eat these. I don't know if you can tell on the leaves. I've been spraying like a deer resistant spray. It smells kind of like rotten eggs. But these pumpkins are supposed to get, you know, up to like 100, 150 pounds. So we'll see how big it gets. But, you know, right now it's, you know, decent sized pumpkin. Looks like something you could buy at the store. It's kind of interesting how yellow it is. I don't know if that's just how they are when they grow, or if it'll kind of turn orange as it gets more mature. But the plant itself is gigantic, and it's growing a couple other ones. So that one's getting started. And then really right now, like I said, I'm just spraying it, and then I bought these deer repellent things too, so I'm hoping that's kind of enough to keep the deer at bay for the moment, because I'll be really pissed off if they eat my pumpkin. So hopefully they don't. But so yeah, so that's the patch. That's the garden. Thank you guys for watching. I've tried to keep making more regular updates here. Just been super busy. So anyway, guys, thanks, and grow your own. You know, get a little self-sustaining, and we'll talk to you soon.